Hi everybody, this is Osprey from mychartcoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at the marijuana sector. Okay, we're going to focus on the biotechnology marijuana related stocks. Okay, and so what we're looking at here is the marijuana index, and as you can see here, it was down today. The North American index was down nearly 3%. You can see here it's on a multi-day drop. Now it's on a 3-day pullback after hitting this high up here above 350. And so what's going on here on the United States index? It is holding up better than the Canadian index, but it's starting to break 126 there. And then you've got the Canadian index that's been pulling back pretty steady the last couple of days. Okay, so in order to find some good stocks in the marijuana sector, one place to look is the marijuana stock universe. They have 363 securities so far in this listed here in their index that are all marijuana related. And so if you look over here on the right, it gives you the sector. Look at the biotechnology stocks right now. So they are moving. What we have is GW Pharmaceutical. They came out with the DEA. It changed their stance on their CBD drug. This is a huge monumental day for the marijuana sector. And yeah, this is opening it up. It's changed it's rescheduled CBD FDA approved drugs for Schedule 5, which is the lowest level. On the same level as diarrhea, drugs to treat diarrhea and cough suppressants. So it's very, very good for the sector, for the pharmaceutical companies that are working on CBD related drugs. This is a huge day. And so we had GWPH breaking out, closed up 7% today, has RSI back above 70, Fasto above 80. And after hours trading, it did push higher. It closed at 176.48. This is a chart I've been working on. As you can see here, it had formed an inverse head and shoulders pattern. This is the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. And then on this candle here, it broke above the neckline. That signaled more upside potential. And then on this candle here, it broke above high close horizontal resistance. And then now today, the big move is it broke above 170 resistance. Notice all these candles were trying to close above that level. Today, it finally did. That signals more upside potential. And so now this is on a blue sky breakout. All you have above is this upper wick. This is the all-time high up here just below 180. And so notice it's on a big volume spike. And so if you look here at the GWPH weekly chart, you can see it still has some room to run until 70. You know, it's at 67 right now. So there's still some juice in the tank here for the CAR to keep pushing higher. It is trying to bust out of the top of this weekly channel. You can see this is the top of this multi-month, very long, drawn-out channel here. And so it's trying to bust out of the top of that. It needs to turn it into support. If you look here at the weekly chart for GWPH, you can see this week it's busting out above resistance. So the closing price here, or this is the monthly chart, I'm sorry, this is the monthly chart, and so you can see it's up nearly 20% this month. It only has RSI at 65. I mean, this is a high level for RSI, but we're going to see if it can bust out above this 65, 66 level and then get up there above 70 like it did when it really pushed back there in 2015. And then, yeah, you've got the breakout this month is the big move. We're right now at the end of the month, and so a monthly close above this, what is this, the May closing price, that's going to signal more upside potential. It's trying to break higher, and so yeah, it just has to turn that level into support now, and that'll signal more upside potential. As long as the EMA 4 at 154.54 is holding, the bulls are super strong. If you look here at the 15-minute chart, you can see it pulled back today and held that middle Bollinger Band at 176.48. It puts it right up here at this closing price at 215. If it can break above that, it's 178.45. That was the high close today, the all-time high close on a 15-minute chart. And then just above that's the all-time high right below 180, which is at 179.65. And so yeah, it'll just have to keep making new all-time highs to keep pushing higher. Okay, so let's look at TLRY here. So TLRY, they announced they had the DEA had approved an import of a pharmaceutical grade grade medical cannabis product produced by TLRY into the United States for a clinical trial, and I believe it's by a university, and so it's for a neurological movement disorder. And so this is another biotech related marijuana stock, and so with other stocks in the marijuana sector pulling back, TLRY actually had a big day. And so in my mind, I feel like it was biotech related. That it got the boost because that's where it's going to be at right now with what you can do with the marijuana, not necessarily how much marijuana you can grow. And so this is at 57 right now on RSI, so it is in the bull zone. And so getting it has until 70 to get overbought levels, and you can see it ran all the way up to 90 multiple times. Now you can see our Fasto is now above 20. It's above the oversold level. That crossover and breaking above 20 is a buy signal, and so now it has to stay above 20. If it dropped back below, that would be a sell signal. Today there was a bullish close above EMA's 4, 8, and 13. That's exactly what we were looking for the last 4 days, and so it finally happened. It needs to stay above EMA 8 at 125. That's the big level. Stay above 125, and it should push higher. Right now it's hitting the top of this gap right here. This gap did fill between the 17th and 18th, and what we're looking for now is a potential gap fill. There's a gap between these two candles, and so 150 is the bottom of the gap. That's the next key resistance level to break, and just below 160 there, right about 159, is the top of the gap. So a run up to 159 would fill that gap. Many times an upward gap fill could be a climax event, so it's going to have to break through that 159, 160 resistance level to head higher, and then 150 will be another tough level to break. It bounced right off the middle Bollinger Band. That was the perfect bounce off that level, so congrats to everyone that follows our strategy and loaded off of the middle Bollinger Band for stock in the uptrend on a pullback. As long as support holds, that's the good low entry point, because the middle Bollinger Band is the bottom of the bullish upper Bollinger Band channel. Okay, look at the 15-minute chart that we've been working on for TLRY. What does it need to do here? It pulled back, found support down here at right around $100, and now it's hitting the key level. It's hitting the 200 and 300 simple moving averages here on the 15-minute chart. That's going to be the big level to break. Once it gets above 134 here, 55, that should signal it wants to head higher. That's the blue line there. And notice that this is lined up with the resistance from back here on the 21st. A break above this 134, 135 level should get it up here to the 200 simple moving average at 144. That is the top moving average on this chart. So once it breaks above that level, that would be the signal that it wants to head higher. Now you can see the gap over here. I'll just move this line down, and this is the bottom of the gap. There's a gap between let's see, where's it at? It's right here, between the low on this day and the high on this day. And so right here at 150 would be the bottom of the gap. Keep in mind the bottom of the gap is always a tough resistance level to break. Okay, so check out IGC here. So they did have news about their CBD infused energy drink, and that really got it soaring. That took it higher. Because we have InBev had been running as well, and anybody with some CBD and some water has been moving. And IGC also has this drug here. I'm not going to pronounce it wrong here, but it's an Alzheimer's patient's drug, and they're working on using cannabis to help cure Alzheimer's, and so that is another catalyst for this to push higher, because the pharmaceutical related marijuana companies are getting a bid right now, and so it's pushing higher, up 52%. When I showed you earlier, the indexes were down, and so this was a shining star, and it's getting frothy here on RSI, with RSI up here at 81, and so hitting up here at 90 or above. I mean that's a temporary top level. It is pushing well above the upper Bollinger Band here, and then the thing is it did have it was pushing higher in after hours trading, and so it could have a gap up open tomorrow, because tonight it closed at 516. so that's pushing it way up here. So it's going to be a potential gap up open, and so yeah, so that would be 3 gap up opens in a row. Just signals it's starting to get ahead of itself. If tomorrow's candle's up here and you have the upper Bollinger Band down here, there's a good chance that the candles will end up working back into the bands at some point. Nothing goes straight up. Similar to over here, how they worked back into the bands when it got a little too far ahead. It took a little breather. Same thing with right here. That's just what you have to be on the lookout for tomorrow on a gap up. Keep an eye out for a black candle. If it starts trading below the open, that'll be a signal that traders are locking in gains. Okay, so keep an eye on $5. Big month for IGC here. It's up nearly 200% this month. So congrats to everybody that's been trading this. With RSI at 87 on the monthly chart, it is very, very frothy right now. Okay, so that's super frothy for a monthly chart, for any chart having that high of RSI. And so right now it's hitting the key level, the 2012 high close, at basically $5. It's just right below $5. And so $5 is the big level. With the gap, with the after hours trading at 516, that's going to make it so you want to, in my opinion, that 5 is the stop loss level for tomorrow. If it could stay above $5, keep riding. If it drops below 5, that in my opinion, that would be a sell signal because it could consolidate. The downside risk is it comes down here and it tests EMA4 way down here at 241. That does line up with the high close in 2013. Okay, so what's the better marijuana stock? INSY, I don't even want to pronounce that wrong as well. Ticker symbol INSY, or ticker symbol CARA. Okay, so the thing about these two is they should have an asterisk because they're not pure marijuana plays. You have they're pharmaceutical companies, and INSY has a cannabinoid drug, Syndrose, which is a synthetic form of THC. So it's not even coming from from a plant. And then you have CARA here, which uses the cannabinoid receptor agonist, which for them is the CR701, is the drug that they're working on in preclinical development. So they're both working on a different angle. They're not growing the marijuana. They're working on marijuana drugs. And so this could become a billion-dollar. They could be developing new billion-dollar drugs. And so yeah, the possibilities are endless here. This is CARA here. This is their cannabinoid receptor. You can check it out on their website. And yeah, as you can see here, this is what's something you should keep an eye on, in my opinion, because if they're pushing GWPH higher, they're likely to break this one out as well. It has really low volume right now. Look for a break above 24. It's hitting the key resistance level. It closed right at that level today. That's the closing price from back here on the what is that, the 20th? And so if it can break above this 23.90, 24 level, it should break out higher. That should be the signal it wants to head higher. Now, I would use EMA8 at 23.10 as the stop loss level. That line has been holding the entire time. The risk is if it breaks, it could come down and test that middle Bollinger Band at 21.62. If you look at it here on the monthly chart, you can see this is the all-time history of the trading of the stock. It started trading back here in 2014. This is the all-time high from back in June of 2017, between 28 and 29, and in my opinion, it looks like that's where it's headed. It's going for the all-time high close on a monthly chart for CARA. This will be the highest it's ever closed on a monthly chart this month. It's got a very strong uptrend going. It's riding EMA4 at 2046 support higher. If this uptrend continues and EMA4 support holds, it should work its way back up to 28.29. Now if it drops below that EMA4, that 2050 support level, it could pull back and consolidate. Okay, take a look at INSY. All right, this is your synthetic THC drug company. And so, yeah, keep an eye on them. They are setting up as well. It's hitting this high close horizontal resistance level from the 25th. If it can break above this level, it should come up here and test this close on August 30th. And so that's right around 1070 or so. And so, yeah, if it can break above this what is this, about 1015 and then 1070. Those are the two levels. It has a nice uptrend. You know, it's just walking higher. As long as EMA4 at 978 is holding, it signals more upside potential. If that were to break, it could pull down to $9. As long as it keeps holding that middle Bollinger Band, that's the reload level on a pullback. Okay, if it dropped below, that would signal downside risk. Okay, one more to keep an eye on, and there are a bunch more. I'm just giving you some ideas here and showing you a couple of the top stocks. In my opinion, GWPH is it's the top marijuana pharmaceutical company in the world. And then take a look at XXII here. Okay, so this is 22nd Century Group, ticker symbol XXII, and yeah, they have they're developing cannabis plants that have no THC. And so, yeah, they're going for the CBD only plants. That's a big thing. A lot of people are doing that. That's what GWPH has. They have 8 hectares of greenhouses over in England, and it's all CBD plants. They're all low THC. It's just all high CBD plants. They don't grow any real THC as well. And so, yeah, if you're looking here at what else they do, they also grow tobacco. And so their genetic engineering expertise is they're growing with low levels of nicotine. So they're doing the tobacco and the marijuana. It's just interesting. So yeah, keep an eye on XXII here. Yeah, so even though they have them in the specialty financial, they're really a biotech company. And so yeah, it closed. One of the reasons why I'm showing the chart is because it's in the biotech sector for the marijuana sector, and it's a biotech industry, and it closed above high close horizontal resistance. The closing price in the 11th here was the key level to break. The close above that level does signal more upside potential. Now you have the closing price back here in the first week of July. That's going to be the next key level to close above. If it can close above that level, it should signal it wants to head higher, come back up to 3, possibly break out above 3. Okay, thanks for viewing this video. Really appreciate it. You know, as long as it holds the middle Bollinger Band at 271, the uptrend should continue. If it dropped below, it could come down here and test these moving averages, test that 250 support zone. Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, please come check out the chat. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.